Some revolvers look great on paper but turn into nightmares the moment you pull the trigger. The .357 Magnum is supposed to be the king of defensive cartridges, but these 5 revolvers will make you question everything you thought you knew about wheel guns. They're expensive mistakes wrapped in shiny marketing. Disclaimer: this ranking is based on documented user experiences, reliability reports, and real-world performance issues. These aren't just my opinions, they're patterns of problems that keep showing up across forums, reviews, and range reports. Your experience might vary, but the odds aren't in your favor with these models. Number 5. Taurus Defender 605. Budget revolvers can be tempting, especially when they promise magnum power at bargain prices. The Taurus Defender 605 fits this category perfectly, and that's exactly why it earned its spot on this list. Let's start with the elephant in the room: quality control. While Taurus has claimed to improve their manufacturing standards, the Defender 605 still suffers from what users politely call inconsistencies in the metalwork. That's corporate speak for sometimes you get a decent gun, sometimes you get a paperweight. One reviewer described it as having occasional rough edges and concerning longevity and wear patterns that progress faster with similar revolvers. The trigger is another disaster waiting to happen. Users consistently describe the double-action pull as notably heavy and excessively heavy for its size. This isn't just uncomfortable, it's accuracy destroying. When you're trying to make precise shots under pressure, the last thing you need is a trigger that feels like it's fighting you every step of the way. Your finger will be screaming after 50 rounds, and your groups will look like shotgun patterns. Then there's the ammunition sensitivity issue. The Defender 605 reportedly has inconsistencies with certain ammo brands or types, particularly with cheaper or reloaded rounds. This can lead to misfires or extraction problems, the kind of failures that turn a defensive firearm into expensive jewelry. A reliable gun should eat whatever quality ammo you feed it, not throw tantrums like a picky toddler. The recoil management is mediocre at best. While it's not as brutal as some ultra-lightweight models, users still describe the recoil as brisk and annoying after 50 rounds. Combined with the heavy trigger, this makes extended practice sessions a chore rather than enjoyable training. Here's the real kicker: the Defender 605's main selling point is its affordability, but this lower price comes with hidden costs. You might need aftermarket springs to fix that terrible trigger. You'll probably have to stick to premium ammunition to avoid reliability issues, and there's always the chance you'll need to send it back for warranty work, assuming the company honors their warranty. The bottom line is that you're not saving money, you're gambling. Sure, some people report no issues with their Defender 605, but gun ownership shouldn't be a lottery where you hope you get one of the good ones. When your life might depend on your firearm, good enough sometimes isn't good enough. Number 4. Arms Mag Pug. When a company has a reputation for quality control that's described as hit or miss, that should be a red flag. Arms has earned this reputation the hard way, and the Mag Pug is a perfect example of why. The reliability issues with Arms products are legendary in the worst possible way. Users report light primer strikes that require specific primer brands just to get 100% ignition. Think about that for a second. You have to shop for special primers because your gun can't reliably fire standard ammunition. Some users report needing multiple strikes just to fire a single round. But it gets worse. The trigger can jam mid-pull, preventing the hammer from dropping entirely. Imagine being in a defensive situation and having your trigger lock up halfway through the pull. Extraction failures are common too, with cartridges getting stuck in the cylinder so badly that you have to pick them out one by one with tools. The build quality issues go beyond just function. Users describe the finish as rough as hell and unfinished, with machining marks clearly visible. Critical components like the top strap sight groove can arrive shifted off to the left, indicating a complete lack of quality control during manufacturing. Some guns even arrive with broken sights straight from the factory. The ported barrel design, which is supposed to reduce recoil, creates its own problems. Users report powder blowing back onto my face and debris flying back at the shooter. It's like the gun is actively trying to blind you while you're shooting it. Here's what really drives the point home. Arms has a reported 25% warranty return rate. That means 1 in 4 guns needs to go back to the factory for repairs. Those aren't competitive odds for a product that's supposed to save your life. The factory lubrication can harden over time, making the action sluggish and prone to malfunctions, especially in cold weather. Frame pins have been reported to walk out, and cylinder retention screws back out during use. These aren't wear issues, these are fundamental manufacturing defects that suggest the gun might literally fall apart in your hands. When you buy a Charter Arms product, you're not buying a firearm, you're buying a lottery ticket. Maybe you'll get lucky and receive one of the functional ones. Maybe you'll get one that needs immediate warranty work. Maybe you'll get one that looks like it was assembled by someone who learned gunsmithing from YouTube videos. For a tool that might need to work when your life depends on it, maybe isn't good enough. The fact that some Charter Arms guns work fine doesn't excuse the systematic quality control problems that plague the brand. Real quick, before we jump to the next revolver, hit that subscribe button if you're enjoying the video. It helps the channel grow and gets this content in front of more awesome folks like you. Appreciate you hanging out with us. Alright, let's keep going. Number 3. Chiappa Rhino. Innovation in firearms can be exciting, but the Chiappa Rhino proves that being different doesn't automatically mean being better. This space-age looking revolver fires from the bottom cylinder chamber instead of the top, which is supposed to reduce muzzle flip. Unfortunately, solving one problem created several others. The most universally condemned aspect of the Rhino is its trigger. Users describe the double-action pull as very heavy, terrible, and the stiffest I've ever worked. It doesn't just break cleanly either, it has multiple distinct stages before finally releasing. This complex, heavy trigger pull makes accurate shooting nearly impossible, especially under stress. The single-action mode isn't much better. Cocking the hammer, which is actually a cocking lever, is extremely stiff and often requires 2 thumbs to operate. This makes the single-action mode impractical for anything other than slow, deliberate shooting at the range. The low-bore axis does reduce muzzle flip as advertised, but it creates a new problem called height over bore. At ranges inside 5 yards, your shots will hit low from your point of aim. This means you have to relearn everything you know about point shooting and sight alignment. In a defensive situation, muscle memory could literally work against you. The ergonomics are described as awkward by most users. The grip angle, control placement, and overall feel requires significant adaptation. You might think you can train around these issues, but why would you want to? There are plenty of excellent revolvers that feel natural from the first shot. Here's the real insult. Despite all these fundamental flaws, the Rhino commands premium prices ranging from $1,500 to nearly $5,000. You're paying exotic car money for a gun with basic usability problems that cheaper revolvers don't have. The Rhino is the perfect example of prioritizing one flashy feature over fundamental functionality. Yes, the reduced muzzle flip is impressive, but what good is reduced muzzle flip if the trigger is so terrible that you can't hit your target in the first place? It's often viewed as more of a novelty or conversation piece than a serious defensive tool. If you want a gun for the range that makes people say, "Wow, that's cool," the Rhino might fit the bill. If you want a gun that you can shoot accurately and rely on, look elsewhere. The bottom line is that cool aesthetics and innovative design don't automatically equal good performance. The Rhino is proof that sometimes the conventional approach works better than the revolutionary one. Number 2. Smith & Wesson Model 360 PD. Smith & Wesson has a legendary reputation, which makes the Model 360 PD's problem even more disappointing. This ultra-light J-frame uses exotic materials like scandium alloy and titanium to achieve minimal weight, but the laws of physics can't be cheated. The recoil is absolutely brutal. Users describe it as the worst recoiling handgun I have ever shot personally, and compared it to getting hit in the hand with a baseball bat. The violent recoil causes the gun to flip so dramatically that the cylinder release can hit your thumb hard enough to draw blood. Your hand will go numb after just a few shots. This isn't just uncomfortable, it's counterproductive. The severe recoil makes accurate follow-up shots nearly impossible. Most users quickly abandon full-power 357 Magnum loads and default to 38 Special ammunition, effectively turning their expensive Magnum Revolver into a 38 Special that they paid premium prices for. The ultra-lightweight construction that causes the recoil problems also creates durability concerns. Users have reported flame cutting, erosion of the top strap by hot gases, especially with light-for-caliber, high-velocity bullets. This means that using the gun with its intended ammunition can literally damage the gun over time. The price makes these problems even more frustrating. The Model 360 PD typically costs between $900 and $1,200. That's premium money for a gun that most people find too painful to shoot with its advertised caliber. Users frequently complain that it's priced stupidly high these days for the current quality. The cruel irony is that the 360 PD is designed to be the ultimate concealed carry revolver. It's incredibly comfortable to carry because of its minimal weight. but when you need to actually use it, the punishing recoil makes it nearly impossible to shoot accurately under stress. Most owners end up relegating it to backup gun status rather than carrying it as their primary defensive weapon. They carry it because it's light, but they don't trust it because they can't shoot it well. That's the definition of a compromise that defeats its own purpose. The fundamental problem is that Smith & Wesson prioritized one characteristic: minimal weight, at the expense of everything else. Yes, it's easy to carry, but a gun you can't shoot accurately or comfortably is essentially useless when you need it most. The laws of physics are not suggestions. When you fire a powerful cartridge from an ultralight platform, the energy has to go somewhere. In the case of the 360 PD, it goes directly into punishing the shooter's hand. Number 1. Ruger LCR. This polymer-framed, double-action-only revolver was designed for ultimate concealability, but the compromises made to achieve that goal create serious problems. The recoil is described by users as massive felt recoil and a vicious little gun. The LCR weighs just over 17 ounces, which means firing full-power 357 Magnum loads results in what users call a violent slap to the palm. This isn't just uncomfortable, it's accuracy destroying and practice discouraging. But the recoil isn't even the worst problem. The LCR has a dangerous false trigger reset issue that could literally be life-threatening. Multiple users report feeling a distinct click during the trigger's forward travel that feels like a complete reset, but the trigger hasn't actually reset. When you pull the trigger again, nothing happens. Some defenders of the gun claim this can be overcome by training and not trying to ride the reset, but think about what that means. You have to train yourself to use an unnatural technique to compensate for a fundamental design flaw. In a high-stress defensive situation, you want your training to work with the gun, not against it. The original user who reported this issue called it potentially fatal and sold the gun because of this flaw. When someone who owns the gun describes it as potentially fatal, that should tell you everything you need to know. The short barrel combined with the powerful cartridge creates significant muzzle flash and blast. While this is common with short-barreled Magnums, the LCR makes it particularly offensive. Some users find the blast more disorienting than longer-barreled alternatives. The overwhelming consensus from owners is that while the LCR is easy to carry, it's extremely difficult and painful to shoot with 357 Magnum ammunition. Most owners quickly switch to 38 Special or 38 Plus P for both practice and carry, effectively negating the Magnum capability they paid for. This represents the worst possible outcome for a defensive firearm. The gun prioritizes concealability over every other consideration, including basic usability and safety. The false trigger reset introduces a mechanical uncertainty that could cause the gun to fail when you need it most. The LCR exemplifies everything wrong with modern gun design philosophy that prioritizes marketing buzzwords over fundamental functionality. Ultra lightweight and ultra concealable sound great in advertisements, but they mean nothing if the gun is too painful to practice with and has a trigger system that might fail under stress. A defensive firearm should be reliable, accurate, and comfortable enough to train with regularly. The LCR 357 fails on all three counts while introducing a unique safety concern that doesn't exist with conventional designs. If you've had experience with any of these revolvers, drop a comment and let me know if your experience matches what I've covered here. And if you found this helpful in avoiding an expensive mistake, hit that subscribe button of Guns You Can't Live Without for more honest gun reviews that might save you some money and frustration. I will see you in the next video. Good night.